Hi guys, this is day number 129 of my 365 Livestream challenge, and so today is September 21, Wednesday, so we keep going with our software starter workshop series. Today we are going to talk about non-functional requirements. We are, as you remember from the previous Livestream, we are still in the we're just in the beginning of the third stage project roadmap of our software workshop, and here this is the second day of our live session with our client. Usually we spend 4 hours for smaller projects and might spend a couple days just for this step for bigger projects. And yesterday we talked quickly about full scope row nodes, but this is mainly about the user specification from the user perspective, from the functionality, what they are doing, different types of rows inside of our application. Today we are going to talk a bit about non-functional requirements, some internal requirements, and because this is still important, because this will identify how much more time we need to spend and whether we need to do some external specific internal things within our software so we don't miss it and include into the estimation inside of software blueprint. So today we are on a non-functional requirements. I'm bringing my screen to our worksheet kiddie board. Like this was the project that I'm showing the example from, kiddie board, and non-functional requirements is today's topic. So what are things that we are checking here? This is basically documents, structure and fields, platform requirements, external services and APIs, payments, payment gateways, some internal serialization, localization, platform requirements, devices, etc. So let's start with the first one. Platform requirements, it's basically like, first of all, do we need to have kind of scaling included already into the MVP version? Do we need to just make sure that our software hosting server can sustain 100 simultaneous users, or maybe 1,000, or maybe 1,000,000? The more we want to include like users into our MVP, the more time we have to spend on building proper architecture to sustain this amount. Scaling software doesn't work like that. You just put code and it scales like without any extra resources. You either need to scale horizontally, set up a more powerful server with more gigabytes of in memory, more CPU cores, and more disk space, etc. Or you can just ask developers to do things more efficiently, to rewrite the code, to do SQL queries, database queries a bit more efficiently. But usually we suggest for new startups, when they have no users yet, not to overthink this and just do it by default. Usually by default that we serve a couple hundred users. If it's machine learning and it is intensive, it's going to be part of MVP, which I don't recommend to do machine learning as part of MVP usually, because it requires a lot of budget, and if your idea is not validated, you don't want to spend too much yet. This is here we ask our clients, how many users do we want to serve within MVP? The more we will have to serve, the much more time will help and resources will help to spend to develop the MVP. The next question is platforms. Do we need web application, mobile application, progressive mobile application? Will mobile application hybrid approach work, or we need just native? And all these questions we're asking here. I'm not going deeper into this, but this is the questions. Then we identify what kind of browsers and versions we need to support: mobile browsers, desktop-based browsers, Android, Chrome, latest versions, or maybe we are going to serve some people that are in government or some healthcare where they are using some old devices, and maybe we need to support like Internet Explorer 4th version. I don't know, but we need to clarify this upfront, because building web application for Chrome latest version and for early version of Internet Explorer will be completely different and require a completely different amount of effort. So these are important questions to ask at the beginning of the planning phase. Security: is this healthcare application, and security should be high level, HIPAA compliant, or we just need like basic thing just because it's B2C, some hobby lovers, users like software. So we need to identify what kind of extra work we'll have to do as programmers. And then we have external service and APIs we list here. We'll spend more time on this during the technical oversight checklist, which is part of the tomorrow's live stream risks checklist. I will tell you more about this. The APIs is part of that step. Then we identify, do we need payments inside of our system? If yes, what kind of payment gateway might work for us for that country you are coming from or you want to launch your software to? do we need payment gateway? This answer to this question is already done from product strategy day, monetization model. So we take it from there and decide which payment gateway, PayPal or maybe Stripe, will be better. These are two most common gateways we are using in most of our projects. But for example, in Canada we had to use a different one. In Germany we wanted to use a different one. So it depends on the country, so that you pay less commission, less fees to the payment gateway. And one of the final questions is internationalization, localization. Are you going to just have English, US based, or you might want a couple different languages, couple different currencies, time zone formats? All these localization questions we're asking here and making sure that we are having it figured inside of our estimation specifications and budgets. And because the more languages you want, the more currencies you want in your MVP, the more you will have to pay at the end for the building of that MVP. So these are also important questions. So these are kind of questions we are asking our client on non-functional requirements. This is something we just need to clarify and include into the next step, which is basically preparing the software blueprint for your MVP. Yeah, so this is a pretty quick step. We usually are spending here from 10 to 30 minutes, not more than that. You just quickly figure out the answers. But this is an important step because the result of these questions might influence your price, your budgets, like in tens of thousands of dollars. So that's important to ask these questions right now to figure this out with your development team. That's it from me for today. Tomorrow we'll keep going with project roadmap stage of our software startup workshop. This will be a risk checklist, as you can see on the screen. Thank you for watching. See you tomorrow.